if possible, early on in the film, knowing that this entire movie is filmed or is set in LA, that we have at least some scenes shot in LA. And I'm proud to say that we did succeed and actually have some scenes shot in LA.
The first film felt like a high school championship game, and this one is college ball. So I would like to know, how did you set up the stakes without losing the original underdog charm of the first film?
No, I think a lot of it is really down to understanding what the narrative purpose of the film is, right? The first movie is really about finding oneself, also finding first love, and that experience of learning to connect with someone on a very deep level. The second film is now we're into college, and college really is challenging one's identity. What does one really want to do with one's life? And given that we actually are creating two different worlds, I find it very exciting that we can explore these different themes in a different way. And so between those two, yeah, I'm just overjoyed by the opportunity.
Charlotte's got this cool, grounded energy. She's kind of like the girl that would not only fix your knee, but then she'd turn around and then help you fix your life.
Absolutely.
I would love to know how did you kind of tap into that confidence of Charlotte?
I mean, if I'm being honest, it's like I feel like it's kind of a vibe I possess in my own life. I'm an eldest daughter. I don't suffer fools. I'm pretty direct, and I'm also very much I'm a bit of a fixer. So I feel like that kind of vibe definitely emanates just from me as a person. But I also think that yeah, Charlotte. We came up with some backstory that Charlotte's life has been quite charmed, and I think that often and that she's had to hold her own like with four brothers. And so I think that from a character perspective, that's kind of what I was trying to bring to the table too, is this person who's like very sure of herself and is like would be able to hold her own in a crazy house full of boys. And which clearly I think also translates to being the physio for an entire football team.
The second time you are coaching a team of rising stars again, who each bring their own, fan bases and their own energy. What did you see in both Sienna and Noah as they've grown into these actors the second time around?
Well, Sienna has been already acting since she was a child, and Noah, of course, is among his first opportunities. I think what I really took away from that is their level of determination and passion for the material. And I always treat actors the same way. I start off with understanding what they connect with, what they can offer to the table, and also trying to find perhaps some of their life story elements that can help augment the characters. And I'm very proud to say that, for instance, Noah, who, as we know, is a semi-professional soccer player, and he could have gone pro. He actually brought a lot of his own personal experiences into it, understanding the challenge that Drayton has to go through, wanting to be the star quarterback, and in the second film, perhaps being challenged with a new rival, perhaps. And I think a lot of his personal experience was kind of able to be brought in. And in the second film, they were much more comfortable in the roles. They already knew what had worked. They already laid the foundation. And now we had the fun job of building upon it.
Rowan, is it a little, I don't know, daunting kind of going into a second film that was so well received from the first time and like going into a cast that knows each other, even with,
Yeah.
the director and both, Noah and Sienna. Is it a little bit daunting or was it easy and relaxed?
I mean, I feel like there's always like with any project, if you're joining a party already in progress, if you're coming in mid-season, if you're coming into a sequel, there's always kind of like first day of school kind of jitters. You're trying to figure out where you fit, and it definitely felt like it was something I wanted to do justice because the first one was so well received. People loved it so much, but on the flip side of that, everyone was so nice and so welcoming and made the transition like into it very easy. And so yeah, those jitters kind of dissipated very quickly because everyone's just so great.
And Roan was amazing.
Thank you.
Justin, the movie is called Intercepted. What is something that you personally had to intercept, whether it's creatively, mentally, or emotionally, to make this sequel happen?
I actually was very, very blessed the fact that it was a studio who came to us and said, we made a smash hit with the first film. Would you want to come back for the second? And I, of course, said yes. There was no question behind it. Now, one thing I was very adamant on, something I really wanted in the very first movie was to actually film in LA. I think that was one of the challenges. Of course, it's very, very challenging financially, and especially since we had already established that we filmed it in Victoria, BC, which is a beautiful city. And in the second film, that was one thing I did intercept, and I did request that, if possible, early on in the film, knowing that this entire movie is filmed or is set in LA, that we have at least some scenes shot in LA. And I'm proud to say that we did succeed and actually have some scenes shot in LA.
I do have to say, as someone who is born and raised in Los Angeles, I those little pieces in the script where they were like, Cal Arts is so far away from USC. It really is. So I'm
Oh,
like,
yes.
I'm like, that is very realistic. And I love, those little bits and parts that you actually put in the film. And, as an Angelino, I caught that. So, but
Oh,
thank you
thank
guys
you.
so much for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations.